What happened on this shore? How does an entire colony of men, women, and children disappear without a battle, without a graveyard, without a final cry for help? And why, after more than 4 centuries, does one carved word still haunt the edge of American history? I'm Dr. Aiken, and this is Dr. Aiken Archives, where we step inside the past, follow the evidence, and separate legend from fact. If you're drawn to real historical mysteries told with care, depth, and atmosphere, subscribe now and join me. Tonight, we stand on the windswept edge of the Outer Banks, where the story of Roanoke begins not with fantasy, but with fear, isolation, and a silence so complete it still echoes. This is the legend of the lost colony of Roanoke. But when we strip away the myths, what remains is something even more unsettling. A real human story, documented in reports, letters, colonial accounts, and the testimony of the people who were there. To understand what happened, we need to go back to the late 16th century, when England was racing to establish a foothold in the New World. This was an age of ambition, maritime rivalry, and imperial desperation. Spain dominated much of the Atlantic world, and England wanted in. Roanoke was part of that larger struggle, not just a settlement, but a geopolitical gamble. In 1587, around 117 English settlers arrived, under the leadership of Governor John White. This was different from earlier expeditions. These were not only soldiers or explorers. These were families, women, children, people meant to stay. Their intended destination was farther north, near the Chesapeake, but the expedition did not continue there. Instead, they were left on Roanoke Island, on a fragile strip of land already associated with an earlier failed English outpost. According to surviving colonial records and later summaries preserved in historical works, the place was difficult, exposed, and deeply uncertain from the moment they arrived. This is where the dream began to fracture. Not in a single violent instant, but in small decisions, shortages, mistrust, and time running out. The colony tried to rebuild quickly, but the conditions were harsh. Supplies were limited. Relations with nearby indigenous groups were unstable and, in some cases, damaged almost immediately. Early violence made survival even more precarious. One colonist, George Howe, was killed soon after the settlers arrived. Tensions escalated. The colony was vulnerable, cut off, and dependent on help that had not yet come. And yet life continued. In August of that same year, Virginia Dare was born, John White's granddaughter, remembered in later histories as the first English child born in this colony. It should have been a symbol of permanence, of hope, of a future taking root. Instead, it became one of the most heartbreaking details in the entire story. Because soon after, the colonists pleaded with White to return to England for supplies. Before he left, they agreed on a plan. If the colony moved, they would carve their destination into a tree or a post. If they were forced away by danger, they would add a cross, a sign of distress. This detail comes from White's own written account, one of the most important surviving documents in the case. He sailed away believing he would return quickly. He did not. England was on the brink of war with Spain, and the crisis surrounding the Spanish Armada disrupted everything. Ships were delayed, resources were diverted. Months turned into years. White could not get back to Roanoke until 1590. By then, 3 years had passed. When White returned, he was not coming back to a rescue. He was coming back to an absence. What he found is the heart of the mystery, and also the clearest clue. The colony was deserted. But the evidence did not suggest chaos. There were no burned ruins, no visible signs of a massacre, no smashed defenses. According to White's report, the houses appeared to have been dismantled, not destroyed. The fortifications had even been reinforced. That matters. It suggests intention, order, movement. And then he found the message. First, the letters CRO carved into a tree. Then, on a post, the full word, Croatoan. No cross, no distress signal. That one omission changes everything. In White's own account, he interpreted it as a sign that the colonists had gone willingly to Croatoan, an island to the south associated with native allies known to the English. This is where the documentary must pause and let the atmosphere breathe, because the truth of Roanoke may be less dramatic than legend and more human. The strongest surviving evidence does not point to supernatural disappearance. It points to relocation. But relocation into what? Survival? Assimilation? Starvation later on? Fragmentation into smaller groups? This is where the record grows thin and the mystery deepens. Later chronicles, archaeological debates, and generations of historical investigation suggest several possibilities. Some researchers believe the colonists joined the Croatoan community. Others think part of the group may have moved inland. There are clues, but no final proof. Artifacts found in later excavations have been argued over for years. No single discovery has closed the case. No mass grave. No confirmed battlefield. No document that definitively explains the colony's final fate. The tragedy of Roanoke is not that the colonists vanished in an instant. It is that they were stranded in the wrong place, under pressure, out of time, and whatever choice they made next was never fully recorded. That is what makes Roanoke endure. Not because it is a ghost story, but because it is unfinished. We have reports, we have letters, we have colonial narratives, later books, and the testimony of John White himself. We have one carved word left behind like a whisper in the timber. And from all of it, the most honest conclusion is this: the colonists most likely left Roanoke deliberately. What happened after that remains unknown. So the real question was never, how did they vanish? It was always, where did they go? And who did they become? And out here, where the wind still moves across the same fragile coast, history offers no final answer. Only evidence, silence, and the feeling that somewhere, just beyond the edge of the record, the last footsteps of Roanoke are still waiting to be found.